But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame. Like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, a nobody, is going to hit as hard as lightning. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Because if the one that goes through all the battle you gotta go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? I mean, maybe someone will try to do something when you finish something, maybe you want to do something, you understand to someone something. And you told no, you have to think it. Who's got the right to tell you that? Who? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut, and ain't nobody's right to say no. That's your right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do. Now, if you know what you're worth, that's why you get what you're worth. There's gotta be more than take the hits. And not pointing fingers saying, you ain't where you want to be because they can't do it on anybody. You understood it, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Our deepest fear is not that we are natural. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Our light, not our darkness that most frightens us. Playing smart does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same as we are liberated from our own fate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
All of you, I know you got it. I know you got it big, but the man's in cover. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
That's no video right there. That's when I won. I beat the guy in the United States back in 2008. So that's all. So we're gonna get started. There's a lot more to this, but.
Awesome. Hopefully you guys are fired up to see Nick today. Thinking about it today, so that's awesome. First of all, I want to welcome all of you. I don't want to take too much time, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Deb Smith. I'm the Director of Recreation and Wellness here at NHTI, and also the co-chair of the Student Leadership Team. First and foremost, we would like to thank all of our students, faculty, and staff for coming today, as well as members of our community. You're in for a treat. I think you know that already. So a little housekeeping right here. If you have a cell phone with you, please make sure it's silenced or off, okay, just out of respect for Nick. And first and foremost, we'd also like to thank our primary sponsor of today's event, which is the NHTI Student Senate. That's right. Our Student Senate funds our co-sponsors as well, which is the Student Leadership Team and Phi Theta Kappa. And they also, yes, and they also fund all our clubs and organizations all over campus. Without Student Senate support, our 30-plus clubs and organizations would certainly not be as successful or active as they are. And also, I want to take a quick minute to thank our administration, President Susan Dutton, who could not be here today. She was disappointed about that, but she wished us well. And also Vice President of Student Affairs, Stephen Kasha. I don't know if he's here. He's due in any minute if he's not. And Associate VP of Student Affairs, Chuck Lloyd. Give a little wave. Thank you so much. These guys give us tremendous support and empower us to be as successful as we are, helping us bring events like this to our campus. And one last thank you. The great work of the Student Leadership Team is what brought Nick Scott here today, and in particular, Sue Krenzian. Sue took the lead. Sue took the lead of this event and has done a wonderful job coordinating the entire day with Nick. Thank you, Sue. All right. I would like to introduce Kate Andritz. Kate, she's our student representative of the student leadership team. Kate's also a criminal justice major, a resident assistant, student athlete on our NHTI softball team, treasurer of the Alternative Spring Break Club, and member of both the AmeriCorps and our campus activities board. As you can see, Kate is a doer. She excels in all she does, and we are happy and honored to have her here today to tell you a little bit more about our guest speaker.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming out this afternoon to listen to Nick's story and his message of raising failure as a path to success. When Nick was just 16 years old, he was involved in a near-fatal traffic accident that resulted in him being wheelchair bound. With this new change in his life, Nick became discouraged and overweight, but he found it in himself to change his life from a debilitating tragedy into a personal triumph. Because of his determination, mindset, and personal strength, Nick has accomplished more than you can imagine. He is a published author, owner of Adaptive Apparel, CEO, president, and founder of Wheelchair Bodybuilding Incorporated and Wheelchair Athletics. He is a two-time world powerlifting champion and #1 U.S. wheelchair ballroom dancer, as well as #1 IFBB professional wheelchair bodybuilder. With his enthusiasm, vision, and life experiences, Nick has transformed thousands of individuals, as well as organizations and corporations throughout the United States in helping achieve their personal goals. So please help me welcome Nick Scott.
So you guys like my sparkly tie? Before I get into about me and stuff like that, and get into the message what I'm here for you guys heard that I do ballroom dancing, right? Well, we did performances for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yep, Dancing with the Stars, Pope Francis. But just talking about it is different than seeing it, so let me show you.
And if he still doesn't dance,
I simply say, baby, oh baby, my sweet baby, you're the
and if he still,
That's what I'm talking about. So that's the biggest thing is like, how did I go from, my car accident, what she said, but then it's like, and you wonder, it's like, how did I actually become in a wheelchair? But then it's like, going from that to being all this stuff, from being a best wheelchair bodybuilder to a ballroom dancer. It's more than that, because it's about accepting who you are. Because, like my sparkly tie, and you see this big ring on my finger. I actually work for Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's like, how do you go from rock bottom to rising to the top? And being different, being unique. Because if you look at my wheelchair, I got spinners. But I also got a remote control, because when I press the button, but if you press it again, it's like disco. But it's about accepting who you are, embracing who you are. Because at times, you guys are facing your own challenges and obstacles. And at times you don't feel like it's okay to be you. It's not okay to be different. Because if you are, people make fun of you. Because you are different. They'll laugh at you. They'll make fun of you. And then you get crippled inside. Because then you fear what others think. And you hold back. Because when you hold back, you can't be who you're destined to be. Because each and every one of you guys are beautiful, just the way you are, just the way that you're destined to be. But you're scared. You're scared. Because if you are who you are, then if your friends don't like it, you're scared and you hold back. But that's not what life is about. It's not about being successful in money, because money you can't take with you when you leave this world. It's about who you become, and that's fulfillment. But you're like, Nick, that's easy for you to say. It's like, look at you with your fancy tie, your spinners and all that. You don't understand my story. But you guys don't understand mine as well. Because at one point I was just like you guys. This is me, eighth grade football player. I had big dreams. I thought I was going to be playing for the NFL, running down the football field, smacking the football, and the cheerleaders would be cheering. Nick, you're the man. If you can do it, anybody can. I'm like, yeah. But that's me, you know. That was my mindset. That's what I wanted to become. I was just like everybody. I was a big goof in high school. I had friends. Go watch cartoons after school and did all this stuff. And I just wanted to be like everybody else, to blend in, because having friends made you feel good. And doing things with your peers make you feel amazing. But then things happened. It was a turning point in my life. It was August 17th, 1998. I was in a car accident. My left front tire blew out. It was the front tire. It just popped. And then as I went to football practice, I was 16 years old. I just got on the bridge, and it pulled me to the right. And I didn't want to hit the bridge, so I pulled to the left. And I saw a vehicle coming. And I saw the woman in the truck, and I didn't want to hit her. So I pulled to the right. And I just got off the bridge, and my vehicle started to skid sideways. And then I started to go left in the ditch. And then I knew I was going to hit. You know how you hear in movies that time slows down? It really happens. Because I knew I was going to hit. So I closed my eyes and I loosened the grip. And I said to the Lord, I'm in your hands now. It was a slight ditch, a slight slope, not deep. But I knew I was going to hit. And then I hit. And I felt myself going around in circles. And all I could hear was the shattered glass and the crashing metal. And the next thing I know, I opened my eyes and I was looking at the sky. But what happened was, when I hit the ditch, I started to roll 5.5 times. And as it was rolling, it ejected me out the driver's side window. And in midair, my own car hit me in the back. It broke my back and damaged my spine. I got a big scar on my back, this big, that big, this big. I got titanium rods in my back that's bolted vertical, up and down. They shaved off my left hip to add for additional bone on my spine. I got titanium rods in my back like this, with bolts like this. You can put a magnet on my back and it stick. But what happened was, I hated who I was, because the doctors walked in and bluntly told me that my football days were over and I would never walk again. I was paralyzed from the waist down. They just bluntly told me that. My mother was by my side and she instantly broke down, and so did I. But my mom was furious the way they told me, like I wasn't a person, like I had no feelings. And they just left. And there I was devastated. I fell asleep every night on a damp pillow. And I thought in my head many times that I wish the accident wouldn't have taken my life, that I wish I died. And I hated who I was. Because my friends didn't want to be my friends anymore. Because now the wheelchair is an accessory. It doesn't fit in everybody's trunk. And it doesn't fit in everybody's house, because houses have stairs. Most of them do. So I was becoming a problem. Because at the age of 16, it's not so simple for your peers to accept who you are, accept that you're different. So I was alone. And my comfort was food. My weight went up to 300 pounds. I really hated who I was. And I asked God, I said, why? Why me? There's so many bad people in this world. Why did this happen to me? Because even you guys got those questions. When you doubt what you're meant to be, you doubt what you're destined to be, that you're confused, that you're lost. You start getting spiritual, ask the Lord, talking, trying to find answers, do soul searching. And that's what I did. then I really wish that the accident would have taken my life. And then, as I went back to high school, everything was different because now I'm in a wheelchair. I am different. The stalls back then, 18 years, were different. It was not handicap accessible. There wasn't a handicap accessible bathroom. And I didn't want them to install that because then they would install it for the wheelchair guy. And I was that guy. I didn't want to be that guy. Then going to lunch, some people wanted to help me because I had the tray in my lap and I couldn't reach things. They said, "You may help me." And I said, "No, thank you." But deep down I was like, "No! I can do this myself!" Because I didn't want to be different. I didn't want to be unique. But then going back there, I was thinking, no girl's going to ever date a guy in a wheelchair. I was like, what about prom? So you start going crazy in your mind because you start telling yourself these stories. Like, what about dance? I'm never going to be able to dance with a girl. Now I can. And I went crazy in my mind because I'm thinking, no girl's ever going to date a guy like me. Like me. Then I was actually reaching out for help. And then there wasn't people in wheelchairs around my community, so I reached out. And I was involved with Shriners. And in Denver, I met another girl in a wheelchair, and she felt the same way as me. She's like, why would a guy ever date her being in the wheelchair? And she told me this analogy. She brought up her. This is wheelchair Becky. See, Becky? This is Barbie's best friend in the doll world. So she told me this that changed my life forever. She told me, why would anybody date wheelchair Becky when they could have a Barbie? I was like, oh my God, that's me. I was like, why date wheelchair Nick when you can have a kid? That was me. And it was hard to accept me for being different and accepting who I was because I was struggling to just be a person. That something happened in my life, a car accident. And just like you guys face that every single day. But it's like, how do you overcome that? Because that was the biggest thing. And I ended up crying myself to sleep at night over and over. And this is what I look like. That was me. With my little bushy tail, with the little paws, with the little ears. I hated who I was. That was me. Because the doctor said it was physically impossible to walk again. That's what they told me. They said it could never happen. And something changed in my life as I was in the hospital bed. I realized what's the one thing you gain from losing everything? And it's a perspective. It's a mindset. Because I hit a rock bottom. And what I realized is when you hit rock bottom, at least you have a rock. So even if my friends didn't want to be my friends, and my family, some of my own relatives told my mom to put me in a home to get rid of it, to be done. Because it's better to be, just get rid of the extra hassle than having to deal with what was to come. The only people that really believed in me was my mom, my brother, and my uncle, and my dad. Everybody else pretty much was abandoning me. Nobody believed in me. My friends wouldn't be my friends. And I was dying inside, like the fox. But then I started questioning myself. It's like, their opinion of me doesn't have to be my reality. What they think of me is not my life. It's a mindset. That's the problem with all of us. Because we're scared. Because we're scared to accept that it's okay to be different, to be unique. Because what happens is people don't believe in you until you prove yourself. Because it took me 5.5 years, and eventually I got fulfilling in my legs, and I could move my quads. I can't feel nothing from the knees down, but I wear these braces. And people don't believe it's always true, but I can just take my hairs and work them out. It just falls down like a little critter. Hold on. You hear that? Let's do it again. Now, not just that one, but I got two. See, and I started thinking outside the box because these braces, they're not meant for the day. They're only meant for night. They're called AFOs. I forgot the technical name. Let's just keep it short like that. And then these are meant for drop feet because when you put a blanket over your foot, it's going to push it down. Since I can't move my feet, these would keep them up. But when I put them on and I put my foot down, I felt like Daredevil. Like I knew where my foot was. I just can't feel it. But when I put my foot down, it gave me some support. And then doing rehab, I started getting my quads back. So then I wondered if I could take these steps. They said it was impossible. But thinking outside the box and being different, and being unique, that's what I tried. Because these braces, without them, I have no calves. So you can see my calf muscles, they're small. But when I wear the braces, it keeps my feet at a 45 degrees angle. So when I put my foot down, and I did the rehab of my quads and I got that muscle back, a little bit of this muscle, a little of that muscle, nothing from the back up. I was able to use what I had to be able to press on here to be able to stand up. Everybody's different, everybody's unique, but this is my story. And what it was, this was just standing up, but to take a walk, that's a whole nother demon right there. Because then to be able to lift your foot up, it takes steps. It doesn't always work out that way. That was the Michael Jackson. I don't walk normal. I walk this like Frankenstein swagger. But at least I did it. And I realized that it's my mind. And don't get me wrong, that everybody's situation is different. But as long as you try and you push yourself to the limit, you won't never know what you can do. And that's the key in life. Is once you accept yourself, you're going to see. That was a turning point in my life to accept that it's okay to be different, that it's okay to be unique. Because now I defy the odds. Because I realize everybody's being negative. But life isn't about being negative, it's about being positive. Because it's like this. Everybody sees this as a quarter. But it's deeper than that. And this is the message. If you notice, it's a 1964 quarter. To what you guys see with the eyes, this is 25 cents. But in reality, 1964 quarters and earlier on was made with high content of silver. So this 25 cent is not 25 cent. It's actually more valuable because of what it's made on the inside. Like you guys, it's up to you to define who you are, to educate, to get experience, to add that value inside, what you're made out of. Not what people see with their eyes. Because you can put a potato in boiling water and it turns soft. But you can put an egg in boiling water and it turns hard. And that's the beauty of life, because they're designed differently. But if you do something the same, it's going to turn two different outcomes. Because they're made different. There's no need to try to accept to be like somebody else. Because each and every one of you guys is beautiful just the way you are. You got to accept that. Because life is about love. It's about educating yourself how you can help other people to better yourselves, to help others. Because you can't take things to the grave with you. Because it's about picking people up, helping them, not putting them down. And that's what I'm about, to help others being the best they can be. Because I am the best wheelchair bodybuilder in the world. Trust me. If this was Pokemon, I'd be like Grizzly Bear. I choose you. Grizzly Swag 5000. But that's what it is. Because that's what people see me. They see videos of me fierce, lifting all this weight, and they see me intimidated, and I'm serious. That's me when I train. Because when I competed as an athlete, I was going to beat everybody. Because I was like kingly nice. I was like kicking everybody in the well. This is Sparta. I was kicking them all down the well. Because I was the leader. I beat them all. But that's what people see. Because that's what you guys see and other people see. But deep down, this is my baby Lucky. I'm a big softie. And when I come home, I'm like, what you doing? He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. people think of you doesn't mean that's who you have to be. Just live your life. Because just like people, animal has feelings too, because when my baby sees me leave, and he sees me grab the bag, he wants to come with me. Because then it's like, well, what am I supposed to do with my life, Nick? And you're going to see with one path paves another. And everybody needs to accept what they're going to be when they grow up. I don't care how old you are. We're still learning, and we're still growing. Because I'm still evolving myself. But I realized along my path of doing this ballroom dancing, bodybuilding, powerlifting, that I wanted to help others. So I travel around the world helping students, executives, everybody to become something greater, to show them that anything's possible. That one day when I didn't have friends, and then I didn't know what I was going to be, I got signed by a company. This company, one of the leaders in the fitness world. I've been signed with them for going on 9 years, I think. So 8 years. When I got signed as a professional athlete, that's one way I realized I can make a living. Because it's like, what do you do and how do you make a living? Because if you follow your heart and your passion, people will listen as long as you speak with confidence, speak with authority, and speak as you believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect somebody else to believe in you if you don't even believe it? Same thing with wanting to find love. How do you expect to find somebody who's going to love you if you can't even love yourself and accept who you are because you're scared? Because if you just start with yourself, it's going to pave the way. Because that's how I got involved with ballroom dancing. Like what? How does this all happen? Well, one day I wanted to be a powerlifter, because in high school I thought, like, what am I going to do with my life? I was like, well, if I could lift weights, I can be a trainer. So that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a personal trainer. But wait, I can do more. I can open my own gym. So I'm like, that's what I can be. I can be a trainer in a gym that I own. So I have a plan. So I'm going to go to college, get my business administration. I had a plan. I didn't have many varied options, I thought. So I'm like, okay. But in the gist of doing that, I wanted to compete as a powerlifter. I had powerlifting competitions. And I beat everybody in the world. I'm a 2-time world powerlifting champion. I got 39 first place, 2 seconds, 1/3. I beat everybody. They're like, I'm done. I can take double my body weight on the bar, wrap it out for 10 times at the age of 19. No big deal. It's just a thing. I thought of ways how to be the best, and I got expert at that. So then I was like, I'm done with that. I want to be competing wheelchair bodybuilding. So I did. I Googled that. I taught myself how to be a bodybuilder. I flew down and I lost. But it was March of 2006 when I lost. I got second. I'm like, I don't lose. I beat everybody. But these guys were in such amazing shape that I was so inspired. I was like, guys, this is amazing. The world needs to know about this. I was a nobody. Nobody believed in me, but I thought this was cool. I thought the sport was amazing. And then other people should know about it. And that's what I did. So I went on this mission. I went home and I Googled how to build a website. I built the website and I started competing guest stars. I just started asking promoters if I could do this to help this girl. And they're like, sure, why not? Ask and you shall receive. And that's what I did. And eventually, that's when Bodybuilding.com signed me. And I got paid salary as an athlete. And then working these expos, that's where I met my dance partner. And this is when we did a fundraiser for Dancing with the Stars with some of the staff and the cast. Then we took it to the next level. We eventually performed for Pope Francis. We were one of the chosen ones around the world. But then we got involved with movies. And they asked if you could perform a flip. I'm like, how are you going to do a flip? So I'm like, sure. Let's just figure this out. So we hired a few people and we figured things out, but this is the second flip that we ever learned how to do. And we know it, as you guys saw in the video. So instead of thinking you can't do something, think about how can you? How can you start paving your own path? How paving your own way? Because that's the biggest question. Number one is accepting who you are, and then how do you enhance who you are? And we're going to get to that in a second. But from that mindset thinking, I can do anything, and I got contracted with an agency And this is the new signage for the lamp slot machines all over the world. I am the new genie of the lamp. So I'm like, okay. Then bodybuilding, powerlifting, ballroom dancing. It's like, how do you actually become more? And it's actually just getting involved and studying and just mimic the people that are successful. And that's what I did. So I studied, how do you do this? Be a model. I did that. How do I write a book? Oh, let me do this. Publish my own book. This was back in 2010. I wrote 113,000 words, and it took me a year, and I did it. It's like, how do you do it? I Googled it. I taught myself how. Because if you want something really bad enough, you can make that happen. So I'm like, okay, what about movies? Susan, I gave a movie to Susan. She gets a copy right now. So I was in movies. So my dance partner had a production studio, and they asked me in 2010, they wanted to do a documentary on my life. I'm like, sure, why not? So we did a phone call. It was a short documentary for the Arnold Schwarzenegger Film Festival back in March of 2010. So we had about 5-6 months. So we sit down, brainstorm for 3 hours. I lived in Kansas. She lived in Philadelphia at the time. I'm thinking, okay. We came, we talked, and we came up with a plan, and we did it. We filmed it. And then the producer said, Nick, can you pull a car? I'm like, you want me to pull a car? I was like, I can pull a car. All I need is some rope, right? So that's what I did. I pulled a car. So I pulled the car for 15 takes, but the producer, he brings out this boat, this rope. It's the type of rope that they put on big boats. And I'm like, how am I supposed to pull this? He's like, Nick, you can do it. It's going to look good for the movie. So going back to the previous picture, that rope weighed over 150 pounds, and it's about this big round. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to pull a car, I need like a cinder block that you get at Walmart and just put it on my feet. And then I'll just put my feet and I'll pull it. So I pulled it for 15 takes, and if you look close on my wheels, they're actually my other wheels on dune buggy tires, because we had to add to the effect. Yeah, 15 takes. So I pulled the car one time, pulled the car two, then they backed it up, and I pulled it again, because the director and the producer had to shoot like from this angle, and they were shot it from the back angle. And another take of the movie, he laid on top of the hood. So you had to take it from that angle, and then another angle, and then you got to do a few more times to get back up. So when they cut the video together, it looked good for one scene. That takes like 6 seconds. So I was pulling this car for about 5 hours. That's in a nutshell. And there was a pothole like right here. So when I was pulling the car, if I don't keep it going, the tire would stuck. Then I'd have to really, really pull hard to get it over the hump. But that's just showing you that it's just a mindset. Because I was in movies. And then it was bigger picture. Because then it was about leading by example. So I did all these bodybuilding competitions. I competed against both over 200 times around the world, led by example. This is the first wheelchair bodybuilding camp at the Shriners Hospital for Children. I wanted to help give back. Because when you become an expert in what you're meant to be, you realize that you want to do more with your life and give back. That way you can be the leader in somebody else's lives. That way you can be the pebble that's tossed in the water to start a water ripple effect, not just in your own life, but in others. Because it's different than if you say you buy a TV for yourself versus you buy a TV and they give to somebody else. It's the same concept. You're buying a TV, but the purpose, the meaning, the outcome is totally different. Because that's what I did. I helped. And I led. Because last year was the first ever time that the Pro wheelchair was added to the Arnold Classic. That's the ring that you see on my finger. This is the promoter ring. This is where I work for Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's 7 different classics around the country. And we added in last March. And he knows Reggie Bennett. And if you look close, there's Reggie right there. But you see I'm in the shadows. Because all these guys, I beat. So I retired to be the promoter, to lead this by example. Because how can you lead if you don't know it yourself? And these guys I respect, but they also respect me. So again, this is the new show for 2017. And eventually I evolved as the Honor Classic chairman for the Pro Wheelchair. And that's how it evolves. So in March, it's going to be in Ohio, and then I'm going to get the guys to go to South Africa in May. And then we travel around to Toronto, Canada, and other countries to promote this on a global level. Because it's about expanding and showing that if they can do it, you can do it too. Because I just want to be able to give these guys the platform, something to strive. Because the champion of the Honor Classic will get the same type of ring, plus money, plus a lot of other prizes, plus amazing awards, because this is the stuff that I do to give to the guys, to give back. Because it's about leading by example. And each and every one of you guys like doing something different. What do? Let's kind of define this so you guys know. Okay, she gives these guys a hard time. What about you? What do you want to be? You want to help. Give me some of the stuff that you'd like to do, like hobbies. What do you do? Motocross. Okay? Okay. Motocross and hand cycling. We're going to define this. You're going to see how we narrow it down. What do you like doing? Give me some hobbies. What do you like doing? Teach yoga. What about you? What do you like to do for a living? You lived in what? Your school for engineering. And what about you over there? What do you like doing? You? No? Well, we can get you too. What do you like doing? A teller? Okay. What about you? Pet therapy. Okay. So let's get back to this. Now, life is huge, and you make decisions, and you only got one life to live. And she does pet therapy, but he likes motocross. Let me ask you, do you know anything about motocross? No. How long have you done motocross? How many years? 15, what? You say 15 years? 15 years. Okay. And you, how long have you been fascinated about engineering? 2 years. All of a sudden, do you know anything about yoga? What about you? Yoga. See, if you just accept who you are, there's people out in the world that want to know the same kind of stuff. So if you want to become a master, if you want to just pursue motocross, there's many different paths and ways he can make a living on motocross. Because honestly, I don't know nothing about motocross. I can tell you about bodybuilding and ballroom dancing, but I don't care about motocross. And there's nothing wrong about that, because if I did, I would want to go to an expert in motocross. So that's why this guy, he loves motocross. It's his calling, because he said he did it his whole life, because he lives it, he breathes it, he speaks of it, he dreams about it, because that's his destiny. That's his God-given gift. Regardless if he's in a chair or not, inside his heart and his mind, he breathes it. The same thing, she likes yoga. How long have you been doing yoga for? 20 years. So who do you think you're going to go to yoga if you're interested in going to yoga? You choose. You don't have to guess what you're meant to be. You start listening to who you are. It's not hard. Because whenever you make a decision, you wonder if it's going to be right or wrong. And I promise you, if you listen to your heart, you never make a mistake. Because if you go against your heart, if you go against what you're not meant to be, which is in your heart and your gut, whenever you decide to go against that, you're going to always regret that. Now, if he does motocross and he chooses a path, he may not like that path, but it's one step closer to what he's meant to be, because he's already talking from the heart. Same thing like engineering. There's all sorts of engineering. At least he's on the right path. If you guys just start listening to yourself, same thing like pet therapy. And if she doesn't like pet therapy, she loves dealing with animals and pets. So there's a bunch of different pet things she can pay. Now, I love my dog. His name is Lucky Jeffrey Scott, and I gave him a middle name. But I'm not into grooming or pets. I take my animal to an expert. So how do you become really good at life? You accept who you are, and you become an expert at that hobby and profession that you like, because you already know that you like talking about it. Now, add some education, add some certification, add experience, 20 years, 15 years. Lifting for me is 25 plus years. Powerlifting, 30 plus years. Ballroom dancing, 8 years. Once you have a passion, experience, education. My dance partner, she's a teacher of teachers. And at one time, she was 5th in the world. So you accept who you are. And that's the secret of life. Because then people will listen. Then people will support you year after year. You don't get to the top by talking about it. Nobody cares about talking about it. You're never going to be something being a wantrepreneur, because you want to do it. In order to be an entrepreneur, to be somebody to look up to, you got to take action. It's like the book Secret. I've read it, I heard it, it's made good. You think and you become, right? But I'm telling you this. Without action, the secret is nothing but a fantasy. Because you can wish it, you can want it, you can hope for it as much as you want it, how bad you want it. But if you never take action, it will never come. But as long as you have your heart in the direction, the path, it's going to be rough. Because you're going to go against your family, your friends, your auntie, your uncle, everybody. And it's going to be a dark path that you got to go, that you got to take. That's what people think failure is. That's why you got to embrace failure, because that's going to be your path to success. Because if you think by doing things that you're going to fail, and you will. And if you keep going through this dark path, this dark forest that there's never a trail, you're going to leave your own trail. Because I promise you, when in the darkest night, the darkest times, there will be a time when the sun does come up. But this is your path, your journey. And it's up to you, because it's in your heart. And why you got to listen to your heart is it's easy to give up when the going gets tough if you don't do the stuff that you love. But if you do the stuff that you love, you never give up, because you don't give up on yourself. Because it's believing in yourself is the key. Because not everybody's going to believe in you. But I promise you, when you get to the top, many people's going to believe in you. And then all of a sudden, you get family that you never know appear. And you got friends that want to be your friends out of nowhere. Because you know certain people. Because then, if you just listen to who you are, people want to document it. People want to interview it. People want to learn more. Because that's the secret of life. You see, this kind of looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm like, that's the Superman symbol. I actually trademarked that. And now when I talked about it, people were like, you can't do that. Well, you know what? I did. Because people studied the law. This little symbol is actually a universal symbol that nobody can trademark. So how it was, these are just specific lines that go around the handicapped symbol. So there's a little gray, but I trademarked it. And I started my apparel line, adaptive apparel. So I expanded on it. I added characters. Because I was like, okay, you get all these superheroes, right? Just become handicapped. Because it's accepting who you are, it's adapting to your life, to embrace who you are, to give a different outlook. Because what you see to the eye can lead us. It's a perspective. It's trying to show people it's okay to embrace, to accept, to empower who you're destined to be. And that's what it is. That's my parallel to expand, because I founded my own nonprofit. Because eventually I want to open a chain of nonprofit gyms to fund disabled athletes. That way when I leave this world, I leave a legacy behind to help fund those that are misfortunate. Because guys like Beamer, he's 14 years. He's from Norway. He's my biggest fan. He's like, Nick, when I get older, I want to be just like you. Because what matters most is how you see yourself. You guys are scared. But you guys got to realize that you only got today, future, and tomorrow is not for certain. Because years ago, the boy died. The accident did take my life many years ago. The boy died and the man evolved. Because people ask me, it's like, if you could ever take it back, would you ever not be in the accident? Would you not have been in that car crash? The answer is simple, no. I wouldn't take it back. Because that person is who I became today. And I accepted that. And I lived the life to the fullest ability. Because success is not a destination, success is the journey. Because this isn't about to impress you guys. It's not about to show you my fancy tie, to show you my spinners, my neons, and all this stuff. But it's to show you that it's not to impress you, but to impress upon you that if I can do it, you can do it too. Because you guys are all facing obstacles. You guys are all facing challenges. And every single day you're going to fail at something. Because if you don't try, you don't grow. But a lot of times we're too scared to try stuff because we're afraid of what others is going to say. Just remember, that's going to cripple you inside. Because when you try to find your profession, it's easy to be like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. What are they going to think of me? You know, they're not going to, oh, what's my family going to say? But I promise you, if your favorite TV show's on and somebody changes the channel, you're like, don't touch that! Because you hold your ground with them. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, didn't mean to touch your channel. It's like, that's my favorite show! Don't you mess with that! See, a lot of people hold that ground, and it does the same thing with dating somebody. You know, they say, well, don't date them. You defend him, it's like, he's a nice guy. I don't care what you think. And then when you guys break up, oh, help me. See how that is? We defend certain things in life, but when it comes about our profession, we get crippled inside because you guys are scared. And all of a sudden, it was hard for me to accept in the chair. Because it's like when I was in the beginning of the wheelchair, I saw the handicap parking in the front of Walmart. It's like, I don't want to park there, don't park there, park somewhere else so they don't see me. Because I don't want them to see that I'm handicapped, I'm in the wheelchair. As you get older, I accept that. I'm like, that's like VIP parking now. I was like, that's my spot. I was like, don't you park there. If you do, I got the cops. And in Kansas, if somebody parks in your spot, they don't have it, I can park behind them. I can go in the store and I can rest. It's called citizen rest. I'm like, wow, I'm learning the law. And then in the handicap, being in the stalls, I get Cadillac bathroom stalls. Some places I go, I got my own sink with a power grip bars. And then all of a sudden it's like, it was hard because you see your legs, I see my legs, like, how can you not feel your legs, That's the hardest thing. And then I realized I really couldn't feel it because I wasn't not for a long time until I got up in the middle of the night to get some water and I went back to bed. But the next morning I looked at my foot and my foot was all bloody. The sheet was all bloody. I'm like, ooh, what happened there? Well, what happened was when I put my foot down, my middle toenail caught the edge of my wheelchair and popped my toenail straight up. So my toenail was looking straight at me. I'm like, ooh, that messed of hers. So, either you got a choice. Either you think positive or you think negative. The choice is yours. The toenail was looking at me, so I just push it down, put Neosporin, clean it up, and it healed, right? Positive thinking. The last thing, the story. When I went to amusement parks, I realized that I get a fast pass. I can take me and 3 other people straight to the front of the line. One of my friend's daughters called me Uncle Fast Pass. I don't ride roller coasters that often. What I do, I take the exit line and we get straight to the front. So for you people, you guys wait 2 hours in line, I wait my whole 1 minute. So we go there, this guy was looking mad because he knows the guy in the wheelchair is coming. So the attendant told him to wait. You know, he's been waiting 2 hours. I understand, but you know, I have my pass. I went to the counter, I got my pass. So I don't care. You know, this is not, I don't care. So I go in there, I sit down, he's mad. He's mad, he wanted to jump the wheelchair guy. So me and my people, we do our thing, come back. And the attendant looks at me, he's like, do you want to go again? I looked at him, I looked at the guy, and I was so mad. I looked back at him, and I'm like, yeah. But it was able to accept who I am. So if you guys just accept who you are, listen to what you like doing, that's your calling. Because he likes motorcross, I don't. You guys might like sports. Be the best. Because people want the best. I promise you, you don't go to the doctor hoping that he's okay. You know, hoping that he has education. You go to a doctor because you want to know that your life is going to be okay in his hands. And that's what you guys got to be. Take your life serious. Because if you like doing something, you're interested, so then you don't have to just go get an education. You can self-teach yourself, self-learn, so you become the master. So one day, you can be the one that people look up to follow, because you guys listen to the ones that are successful. That's why autobiographies are written by successful people. You don't see as a failure section, but in those chapters, you'll read that everybody failed. It's not failing, it's just that they tried many different things. We're going to do some questions and answers, but just believe. Because just like when they told me I was never going to be able to walk again, and all this stuff, anything is possible. Thank you. We're going to do some questions and answers, and afterwards I'm going to be up with you guys if you want to talk one-on-one. So let's just do 6, 7 questions of question and answers, and then what's your name?
Sam.
What's your question?
How old did you say you were when you had the accident?
He says, how old was I when I was in the accident? I was 16 years old in the accident. The before picture was when I was 17, and I was doing a transformation. I was holding a newspaper.
So what went through your head, like, after you were at the hospital or in the hospital? Like, what were your first thoughts?
He says, what were my first thoughts when I was in the hospital? When the doctor told me that I would never walk again and I was paraplegic, I thought my life was over. I thought this was it. I couldn't feel nothing from the waist down. I couldn't move because they just did an operation on me. They butchered my back. I had 60-some staples on my spine. They shaved up my left hip. So I couldn't move. I had like tubes in me and all this stuff, IVs everywhere in me when I got told. So it's like, what am I going to do? My football days were over. I'm done. So all I had to think about was just cry. I cried. My glasses broke and everything was blurry. I couldn't see the TV. I saw a calendar. It was a one-day calendar, like on the wall. It was blurry. But every day that would pass, it was like they were working one day away out of my life. So I just hated it. And I was reflecting about how many times that I wish the accident would have taken my life. Next question. You. Hello. She said, how old was I when I decided to take the change and what triggered that? The first step was I hated who I was in the hospital bed. And one of the guys that was part of the football team that came with me, he was my friend at the time. And he was still a friend. And then I talked to him about, we were alone, I talked to him about this girl. Talked about this girl I was like in love with. And then we were on that topic. And then all of a sudden, this was about 1 month after. And then the next weekend, he brought her and 3 of her friends. He was a good guy. So afterwards, I never saw what I looked like in the mirror. So then I looked for a mirror in the dresser next to me after they were gone. And then what I saw in the mirror just devastated me. I had a mini afro, a spotted beard, bottle cap glasses, because my mom brought me my old glasses. And I gained a bunch of weight. And it wasn't until later I sat on the scale, set on it with the numbers in between my legs, and that's what I was. I was 300 pounds. So I was more than that. And I'm like, and when I saw that guy in the mirror, I was like, that's not me, I need to change. But that was the first turning point. But then the next turning point was like when I go back to high school, like, what am I gonna do? So I went to like the football practice, and like, I can't do that. I don't want to be around that. What about basketball? What am I doing? I'm sitting on the sideline, I was like, ooh. When they play baseball. Good job, guys. You know? So a weight room saved me, because at least I can lay on the bench. So when I went to the weight room, I couldn't do power cleans, couldn't do squats, and I'm thinking the bench press. I can take the bar, touch my chest, push it up. If I can do that, I can be stronger than everybody. So in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna beat everybody. It's the one thing I can do, you won't take that from me. So I was obsessed. So that was a turning point. So I took all the anger, all the hate, everything into a negative, into a positive. So that's why I was obsessed with powerlifting. So that's what did that. It was quick. It was at the turning point. It took me about 3 months to get back to high school. And that was the turning point. And I gained like 300 pounds, and then to lose the weight, I got to stop this. So for lunch, after 1 year, I took a Slim Fast and Boost to lunch with me. I didn't eat. I hated eating in the cafeteria because the tables, I didn't fit. So I just took the lunch, and instead of asking people for trays and stuff, I just went in like my coach's bathroom, used the bathroom because it was big, and I just hid in there and I ate. And then I went to the weight room when nobody was around. Nobody knew. You didn't ask where I was for the whole year. Nobody knew. They didn't pay attention. So I just didn't own that. You got a question?
So what was the first time after that you did something you thought, wow, that's really cool?
What was the first thing after my accident that like, wow, that was really cool that I can do it? And it goes to lifting. I took the one thing that I thought I could do, and that's what I focused my whole life on. So one thing that nobody else could take away was the bench press. So since I could bench press a lot, I could focus my career as a trainer. Because if I'm good at that, I can educate myself and teach others to make a living, to make money. But then from that concept, I can go to college to get my bachelor's in administration to open my own gym. And that was my path. And instead of walking the path, I just rode it. Okay guys, I'm gonna be out there, I'm gonna sign pictures and whatnot. If you got questions, that'd be great. But if we can squeeze together for one big group photo, that would be awesome.